Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Okay. Hello. Okay, now it's good. My microphone was off. Was off. So as I mentioned in other videos before, this is the first time that I'm gonna start streaming this whole path that I'm gonna make of changing from software engineer to AI engineer. They have some differences, but some similarities too. Basically, what I'm trying to do during these 6 months is learning and taking new courses on that. And I mean, in the world, of course, there's thousands of options that you can find on the internet. I think in my case, after all the research that I made, I ended up in two websites. First was this AI associate AI engineer for developers, which is like a not an introductory, not an advanced course, but it's an intermediate course in which I will learn everything from OpenAI API to prompt engineering and LLMs and many other more topics like land chain and everything. Well, I already took some of the parts of this course in somewhere else, but in Spanish language. And I had the other option here, which is like the live learning AI, which is probably deeper and more specialized on AI. The thing is I just wanted to finish this base. I just wanted to make sure that I have all of the basics complete, and after that I will decide in which part of AI I want to specialize, because as you might know, the AI field it's huge and there is a lot of different specializations that you can do. For example, natural language processing, or like mm, image processing, automatic detection patterns. There is many specializations you can have in the AI field. Um, in my case, I just decided to take this one. I guess if you're already a developer or software engineer, you're working with development already, this might be a good course to transition. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna stream it all and upload it to YouTube. And just in case this is not the because now it's being uploaded into KBX account, which is my account for music, and I have another account which is Luis Enrique Builds, and I'm gonna start streaming there. But the thing is that in order to stream there, you need to send a request to YouTube, and it is gonna take like 24 hours, 48 hours, and I just really cannot wait. I already programmed for today to start studying this, so I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna stream it here. I'm gonna upload it, and then when YouTube approves my streaming in the other account, then I'll just like swap into there. At the end of the day, I'll just create a playlist in which I'll put all of the streamings into one, and you can watch it all in time, historical order. Sorry. But so far, I'll just start doing it here, and then when I get approved from YouTube, I'll just jump into the other one. So let's start. Let's start here. Okay. Associate AI Engineer for Developers. Python, OpenAI, Theory, 26 hours, 9 courses, 3 projects, 88,000. That's a lot of developers. All right. Here we're going to learn how to integrate AI into software applications using APIs and open source libraries. Start your journey becoming an AI engineer today. All right, first is the OpenAI API. For the ones that don't know, OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT. So possibly in this model, we're gonna just connect to the OpenAI API, and probably some prompt in there, just building basic conversations. So let's jump right into it. Let's see. All right. I need to watch this course. Welcome to the course. I'm James. I'll be your host. Oh, so this is the transcript of the course. All right. So I guess if I click play.
Welcome to the course. I'm James, and I'll be your host as we explore the artificial intelligence functionality available via the OpenAI API.
All right, I need to, because if I'm gonna watch this video together, in the stream, I think I need to make sure that you can listen the audio. Okay, so I'm gonna click play here.
In this course, you'll learn how to use the AI models available through the OpenAI API to solve a wide range of real-world tasks. To do this, we'll be using Python code throughout the course and expect familiarity with a few Python programming topics like subsetting lists and dictionaries, control flow, and looping. However, no experience with AI or machine learning is required. With that, let's dive in. OpenAI is a company that researches and develops artificial intelligence systems. One of their most famous developments is ChatGPT, which is an application that allows users to communicate with an AI-powered chatbot, to ask questions, perform
Just in case, I'm gonna just put it a bit faster because it's too slow.
tasks, or generate content. The OpenAI API allows individuals or organizations to access and customize any of the models developed and released by OpenAI. If OpenAI was a car manufacturer, ChatGPT would be their shiny new sports car that people can walk into a dealership and test drive. The OpenAI API would be like the system customers could use to customize and order cars from the manufacturer's catalog. So what actually is an API? API stands for Application Programming Interface, and they act as messengers between software applications, taking a request to a system and receiving a response containing data or services. APIs are like waiters in a restaurant. They take our order or request, communicate it to the kitchen, the system providing the service, and finally deliver the food or response from the system back to our table. Many applications interact using APIs. For example, a mobile weather app may send our location to an API and request the local weather forecast, which is returned back to our phones. Similarly, we can write code to interact with the OpenAI API and request the use of one of their models. Our request in this case will specify which model we want, the data for the model to use, and any other parameters to customize the model's behavior. The response containing the model result is then returned. Some of OpenAI's models can be used from the web browser, such as via ChatGPT. This low setup browser experience is often sufficient for streamlining our workflows using AI. However, if we're looking to begin integrating AI into our products, customer experiences, and business processes, we'll need the flexibility of working with the models programmatically using an API. The OpenAI API has enabled the development of powerful new features that before would have required enormous computational resources and data. In this example from DataLab, DataCamp's own AI-powered IDE, we developed a feature where you can use natural language to extract insights from data, all built on the OpenAI API. I highly recommend giving it a try. Time to test your understanding.
All right. Over the next units, we'll have you reach your first completing 3 exercises. If you complete 3 or more exercises in your first session, you're twice as likely to complete the course. Okay, just in case to summarize the previous, like if you're already a developer, you don't need to, you already know what is an API, so there's no further explanation on that, and they are just explaining that basically now you can also connect to the API of, let's say, OpenAI or like Cloud or any other LLM cloud provider, so you can send a chunk of text or like a message and they can reply you with their response. So that's basically it. Okay, let's go with this stuff. Applications built on OpenAI API. Software applications for browser. I mean, the whole browser being built on top of OpenAI API. You will be able to explore an application built on top of OpenAI. Data comes from version of ChatGPT. Okay. I said ChatGPT, but the customize of the customization of data camp. All right. I remember once I did that. It's just like basically creating an API in the backend and connected that to the to the API of ChatGPT. Okay. In which year was OpenAI founded? Okay. So I just need to send a message here. When was OpenAI founded? And they would tell me. I just need to December 2015. Oh, like 11 years ago. That's a lot of time ago. Your first OpenAI API request. To preview what's ahead, the Python code for sending our OpenAI request is ready for you. All right. So it says, so here's the sample to send a message to OpenAI. Pass any question or instruct to the content argument. So here's gonna be the content and see how OpenAI. So basically, okay, here. Basically, this is a programmatic way to make a request to the OpenAI API, and this is in Python. So I'm gonna basically here's the messages you can write. So I'm gonna say like, what is 1 plus 1? It's trivial, but just to test if this works. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay. Okay. Which is the best platform to learn AI? Oh, this more. The best platform depends on the learning style, coding background, specific interest with the field. Coursera, EDX. Yeah, that's good. Uh, okay, another one. I'm just gonna make one more. Mm, what's my name? I don't know. It will know that. I'm sorry, but yeah, because you don't. They don't have access to my personal information, so that was pretty much predictable. So this basically is just in this lesson is just basically to learn that the prompt that you're gonna send normally in a text input, you programmatically you can just send it here, and you will get the answer. So I guess it's pretty much all correct, of course. Okay, a video. Let's see.
Welcome back. Let's learn how to make requests to the OpenAI API. Depending on the model or services required, APIs have different access points for users, called endpoints. Endpoints are like doors in a hospital. Depending on the treatment required, patients use different doors to reach different departments. And likewise, users make requests for different services to different API endpoints. Endpoints, like many hospital departments, may also require authentication before accessing services. API authentication is usually in the form of providing a unique key containing an assortment of characters. It's important to note that many APIs, including the OpenAI API, have costs associated with using their services. For OpenAI, these costs are dependent on the model requested and on the size of the model input and output. But don't worry. In this course, we've configured the exercises in such a way that you don't need to pay anything to make requests to the OpenAI API. In this course, creating an API key for authentication isn't required. But if you'd like to create one for other projects, you need to create an OpenAI account, go to the API keys page, and create a new secret key. OpenAI sometimes provides free trial credit to new users, but if not, you may need to add some credit. There are several ways to interact with an API, but in this course, we'll use OpenAI's own Python library. We start by importing the OpenAI class from OpenAI, which we'll use to instantiate an OpenAI API client. The client configures the environment for communicating with the API. Inside, we specify our API key. In this course, this will be filled out for you. Now for the request code. We'll start by creating a request to the chat completions endpoint by calling the create method on client.chat.completions. The chat completions endpoint is used to send a series of messages representing a conversation to a model, which returns a response. Inside this method, we specify the model and the messages to send. The messages argument takes a list of dictionaries, where content sent from the user role allows us to prompt the model. Here we prompt the model to define the OpenAI API. We'll discuss roles and their uses in much more detail in the next chapter. Let's take a look at the API response. There's a lot here, so we'll add additional spacing to improve readability. The response from the API is a chat completion object, which has attributes for accessing different information. It has an ID attribute, choices, created, model, and other attributes below. We can see that the response message is located under the choices attribute, so we'll start by accessing it. Attributes are accessed using a dot, then the name of the attribute. We've gotten much closer to the text. Notice from the square brackets at the beginning and end that this is actually a list with a single element. Let's extract the first element to dig deeper. Okay, we're left with a choice object, which has its own set of attributes. The message is located underneath the message attribute, which we can chain to our existing code. Almost there. Finally, we need to access the chat completion message's content attribute. There we have it, our model response as a string. We started off with a complex object, but by taking it one attribute at a time, we were able to get to the result. Time to make your own API requests.
All right, or else I get it. Uh, okay. I guess I need to put here the OpenAI API token. The question is that so I don't need to do that. It's a syntax error. What is this? Oh, yeah, because this is not all right. So I guess I just need to call this Python import. You are an expert software engineer. Can you please show me the code to import OpenAI client? Wait, but if I don't need that, maybe it's already declared in the environment. Let's see. If not, it's not then. Okay, this is the code from OpenAI. So here's the code to import OpenAI client from OpenAI. And then I need to uncomment this stuff. So I need to do this. Hopefully it will. What? OpenAI is not defined, but I define it here. Due to a syntax error. Sure, telling me that this. Okay, so technically, okay, in this environment, apparently it's. This is the solution, and this is the script. Okay, maybe I'll just print the response here. But here it says that entering my own API token is not necessary to create a request and complete the exercise in this course. It actually does. Okay, so I'm gonna ask their own. And no. Okay, the OpenAI class has already been imported from your OpenAI library. Okay, so if it's already imported, I don't need to import. I don't need to make this line here, because this is normally if you need to run it in your own computer. And I don't need the complete. This is the okay. Create. Okay, so technically, if I copy all of this into here, then I run, this should just, but it's still showing me this stuff. Uh, okay, you know what? Let's make this. I'm gonna get this one here. I'm getting this error on data camp. There it says we don't need an open AI API key, but it seems it is actually needed. Can you please explain? Because if it says here that I don't need an OpenAI API token, or maybe it is like this. No, nope. Okay, maybe I'll just reload the page then. Oh, now it works. So what? Okay, maybe there was a bug in the system. I don't know. Okay, so basically, in all of this data camp, I don't need to put my OpenAI API token. So basically, I don't need to. I don't need to create an account in OpenAI. Apparently, in the when I run it to their sandbox, they will get this code, replace this with their own API token, run this completion, then return the answer. And that is what I got here. Quite nice. It's pretty nice, but I guess most of you guys wouldn't have the sandbox or wouldn't have access to this data camp. Anyway, I'm gonna submit the answer, and in my case, I'm gonna create a a project in GitHub, okay? And I'm gonna do it in localhost. I'm gonna I'm gonna do the I'm gonna use this with my like local with my OpenAI token. I'm gonna use local environment variables. I'm gonna hash it so you don't see it because it's this token is personal. Otherwise, you might rip me off. And yeah, just one moment. I will just need to make sure that everything is set up. Uh, First, I'll go to GitHub, and then in my account, I'll create a new repo. And I'm gonna call it data camp. This is uh, AI associate. Okay, this code and documentation from data camp. AI associate path for developers. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. Let's make it public, no template, as readme on and git ignore. License. I'll go later with this. Anyway, uh, I'll create the repo and I'll 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 put it into my local machine. Uh, just 1 second. I'm gonna go. I'm currently using Git Bash and Visual Studio. Oof. I think you cannot see my because it's just doing window capture. So maybe I'll add another window capture. It's gonna be my terminal. Yeah, I have this one. This one, yeah. Shit. Okay. Okay. So here, I'm just gonna copy the instructions from here. local. So I'm gonna do a git clone. I got it, I guess. Git remote. It's connected. So I had the readme there. And now I'm gonna go into Visual Studio. I think you can see the whole screen, so I'm gonna do and instead of like doing the just one window, I'm just gonna show the whole, or no, even better. So let's do like this. No, the whole screen. I'm just gonna duplicate it. Tutorial whole screen. So here's like, okay, here's with the whole screen. So I'm gonna just delete this one, remove, and now I'm going to also delete this one, and I'm gonna add a full screen share here. This is gonna be also a full screen capture. No, I don't want to do that. I wanna. Missing meta source. It's not neither. Let's check. Display capture maybe. Okay, let's go to full screen. Full, full screen display. And I guess that's everything. So that has everything. Okay, we're good now. So now you can see my terminal and everything. Okay, now we're here in Visual Studio. And here I have the. Okay, I don't need this for the moment. Cancel. Trust. Okay, trust. And now we can run our code from here, or we can run our code um, from the terminal from Visual Studio. Okay, so I guess now what we're gonna do is just like copy copy this code we have here. So I'm gonna create a. I'm just gonna OpenAI, OpenAI intro. Let's call it. And inside, I'm gonna create an open new one. Basic connection. Py. It's gonna be my Python code. I'm gonna put this here. Uh, this one, as you know, doesn't have the. It's my local environment, so I need the client declared. And so that means that basically this is missing this part here. And here I'm gonna run cloud. Just in case if you're new, you're not gonna have cloud. Cloud's my AI coding assistant, so I'm just gonna ask a few questions. Yes, I trust this folder. Because sometimes this cloud is taking so long to run for the startup. Maybe you have some guys, some more feedback. Might be great. Might be great. I just think it's now is 6th of July, so now we're in this like just few days ago. Fable from Cloud was released. So yeah, okay. So basically, I'm gonna ask you are an expert software engineer. I'm an expert in AI. Now I'm transitioning from software engineering to AI engineering, and I am live streaming the whole process. Now I'm sharing my screen, Visual Studio, and I want to not show my OpenAI token, so I guess I need to put it on an amp, but I need you to verify it is never shown. Also modify the basic connection to use the amp variables. Because now I don't want to put the token here, because then you will be able to see it and you will rip me off. And I don't want to do that. I mean, not all of you, but there's always bad people around. And what I really want to do is like just put this into an environment variable and make sure that no one can see it, not even me. I wish I could do that too. So yeah, meanwhile Cloud is processing. Oh, it was not doing this. I need to show in the top of everything, because in the previous screen it was showing like I wasn't in the screen. Okay, but now it's good. Now I'm here. Give me just some moments, some minutes, because I need to make sure that everything is set up so you don't see nothing. Also want to make sure we I have Python 3.11 because technically I will need to just run a Docker, and then inside of the Docker I will need to I can set up the versions, and everything. This is just for learning, but at some point I will need to set up a Docker. And if you don't know, Docker is basically a way to containerize your application. So if something runs in my computer in my Docker environment, it runs in any other computer with the same Docker environment. It's basically because sometimes you're running some code and it's working in your computer, and then in the computer of your friends is not running, and then you're like, why is it running here? And it's basically because sometimes there is like mismatch packages version, mismatches languages version. So when you create an environment in Docker, you make sure that all of the dependencies that your code relies on and all of the environment is consistent, disregarding the computer that you are on. So that's the main reason why you do that. Uh, okay, see, I'm not sure a bit of my screen again. Now as you may see, like Miss Cloud is helping me to create this git ignore. So it is really important, never commit any kind of token or key to the GitHub, especially if it's a public repository, because then anyone will be able to see. And there is always bad people, so they will be able to steal your keys use and use them. So just make sure that you always set up first properly the git ignore, so you don't push that into the any repository. Yes, this is correct. Also, you don't need the cache, so that's good. Checking the maybe it's an upgraded Python version. How long am I already streaming? This is really interesting. This is my sister. Let's go. Oh no. It's already 44 minutes, guys. That's a lot. It's really a lot. Let's go. Thank you, sister. Live chat. Now just like installing everything from the OpenAI so I can run it locally. You might see it here. Cloud is installing it. Which version of Python does open? Not the API, because an API is just a fetch request, but actually the OpenAI API package that is published. Ah, it needs Python 3.9, and I have Python 3. So I have, it's good. I'll see here. Here is showing the OpenAI API. Yeah. This is where I'm gonna put the OpenAI key. So now, this is where I'm gonna put the OpenAI key. And here's making the modification to the code that I just had before. So it's getting the environment variable. Yeah, that's good. Also, I think I may need to rotate these keys like probably daily, just to make sure that nothing really happens. If in case like it gets leaked out from some stream, I just like make sure that nothing gets like really ripped off. What is this? Settings adjacent. What is this for? Aha! I didn't know that. I didn't know you can do this. Hide that emp from the file explorer. Search or quick open so the API can never appear on the share screen. Can, can you go deeper into this? Settings. User settings. Workspace settings. Alright. So it's gonna create a .vs code /settings dot. So files pretend that they don't exist in the UI. It's hidden for the explorer, hidden for the quick open. Cool. Hidden from some file related dialogues. Cool. The file exists in this, still written in your code. See, it's purely a visual URL filter, so it's never shown. Search exclude. Project and say you try to look for the SK, because normally the keys have an SCrate prepend. The results and said, okay, that's also good. Okay. So this is gonna match any file that it's .emp or that it ends in .emp. So at the moment it's just gonna just exclude all the .emps, and it's gonna do it in any nested file. So it's gonna exclude it from the UI and exclude it from the search any nested file that ends up in that is .emp. It doesn't encrypt. Yeah, we don't need to encrypt it. Stop for committing. Yeah, because doesn't the git ignore. It's already done in the git ignore, so we don't need that. Cool. That's nice. So we are excluding it from the UI, so it's never shown. Okay, I guess that we will need to close and open the window in order to activate it. To activate it. The editor is changing one command required for proof for clarity. Wait, 1 second, because sometimes when it goes to this git commands, explain what does this command is going to do. Git is ignoring your .env. Okay, let's check enemies. Is it about to be committed? Your parent code can actually load the key. Okay, it's gone. Let's go check if it's ignored. Status. Alright. Let's just do it. I'm just making a verification that we're not loading, we're ignoring the key in the history. Okay, just one last verification. This is one last verification, guys. I just want to make sure that I don't make a mess and I don't leak I don't leak any tokens or keys. It's also for your safety. If you ever do this, you need to make sure to do all of these steps at first. Because if you don't do it first, at some point it's gonna be like, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, and at the end of the day, you will never do it. And when it's already like thousands, probably hundreds, thousands, or millions of lines, you will be like, oh, I didn't took the proper cybersecurity steps, and now I don't know. I now I need to backtrack all, and then it's gonna be a big issue. So we're good with the Python. We have 3.11, and the one that is needed is 3.9. We got all of our environment variables saved. So I guess after this we'll need to close and open the Visual Studio Code so it uses our configuration. I'm also gonna update this readme with cloud, so it's always like I always when I do projects I try to make sure that I have a base readme in which I have like the whole like a summary of what does my project does, and then depending on each feature or in depending on each model that I develop, I have like more specific empty files. So when my coding agent enters there, it just has a rough idea of everything, and then whenever it needs to do some modification into certain parts of the code, then you go deeper into certain area. The reason is just because I don't want to have like huge context that is reading absolutely everything. I just want to have the agent to read as less context as possible so it performs better and not hallucinate. What's this does? This do? Hmm. Parsing is not executing. Okay. Okay. Just making final checks. Okay, I guess it's over. The good news for your real key was never exposed. The file only contained placeholder. Uh, yeah. So, uh, so guess it's good. Basic connection. Okay, so install OpenAI. Okay, so I guess, okay, then please update the readme d the changes. Also make sure to write there we never log any key when we are running terminal code. So we never see the I'm just saying to Claude to make sure that whenever I'm running some code, you just make sure that, because sometimes it throws errors, and in some errors it might show like, there is some error with the token and everything like that. So when something like that happens, I also want to make sure that I don't expose the key. Yeah. Now I'm just in peep. At some point I will just move to OpenAI, to Docker. Sorry. But is so far just for the purpose of teaching. I'm just gonna do that. All right. Documentation updated. This is good. Now I guess I'm gonna close Visual Studio. Then I'm gonna reopen it again. As far as I remember, like the changes of the VS Code settings should be already applied. But No, it is still here. I'm gonna first I'm gonna paste my key. 1 second, I'm gonna go to OpenAI. In order to get the key, you can just go to OpenAI, and then there you will get a key. Just remember to always put limits in the keys. Always make sure that it's properly saved. Never commit the keys. Always put it in that amp. And okay, I'm gonna get one API key. So it's gonna be. I'm gonna put it. Okay, test.conf. Okay, I got the key. I'm gonna copy it here. I'm gonna copy it there. It's copied. Then I'm gonna go into cloud. I'm gonna run this notepad to that amp. Okay, I'm gonna ask why I still see the UI. One second, because I'm trying to make sure that this is not being shown in the UI. Because technically, unless I need to put the BS code not in the data camp is associated, but no, but I'm inside of that. Okay, I see. It's because we're in a different folder. Okay, let's do this then. So yeah, I was right. So I need to open the folder in which it's like a root. Yeah, it's gonna show it. It's gonna show it briefly here. Look, I need to. This needs to be in the root folder of your project here. So then see, there's no amp. It's still there, but you cannot see it. Even I cannot see it, and I cannot look for it, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna dot amp. Yeah, Nema. There is no. Good. It's pretty good. So now we can run the. So in order to do that, we need to do the Python basic connection. That's perfect. So now I run the code of this basic connection in which I'm sending this write polite replying accepting the a engineer job offer. Now I'm getting the contents here. That's good. So just in case, I'm gonna. No, that's for better. Mm, Claude, because now I want to make sure that in I want to make something like I want to see like each one of the values inside of here, but in a pretty way. So I don't know if there is a way to prettify this response. I know it's JSON. There should be. I mean, there is. Well, we can close this. We can already go into this here. Now let's just push this code into there. I'm just gonna put a data camp AI associate, and then I'm gonna run 2026, the day of today. It's July and it's 6th of July. And then I'm gonna do basic connection plus proper setup with keys protected and hidden. I'm gonna push. And they should be here already. Yeah, it's all of the documentation of the basic connection, how to ignore the amps, to have a sample that amp, that example, to make sure that it's hitting in the VS Code. to make sure I don't show it anywhere. It's not searchable. No logging of keys, no hard-coded keys. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good setup. I guess you can copy it in your own. If you want to just already have everything set up, you can just copy it and Basica. Ah, I don't like when there's typos. Okay, I'm gonna. How to edit the last git commit message. I really don't like when there's typos, so I'm gonna I'm gonna edit the. Okay, so it's commit amend. So it's this one. Basic connection proper setup. Initial setup with keys protected and hidden. So saved. Why that there is all of this? Okay, this is good. Okay, now it's a proper lock. So now I'll try to push, but I'm trying to overwrite, so I'm gonna go the force. Because I'm overriding actually the commit there. Now it's good, no typos. Everything is good, code tested. Restart session. Now let's jump to the next lesson. Nice. OpenAI offers multiple models for different use cases. In this exercise, you'll specify the model and define the role to structure your API requests. Okay, OpenAI imported. It's already been imported from you and from the OpenAI library. Okay, if I specify the GPT-4o mini, and then as far as I remember, there was like it can be user, it can be system. I'm gonna head the hint because why not? Well, yeah, it was good. Well, I didn't need to take the hint, but it's announcing the new AI engineer roles. That's the message. So yeah, I'm just gonna copy this here also, so you got access to this. Uh, how can we call this? Basic modifications. In my case, because I have it already in this way, I just need to copy this here. Yeah, I'm selecting the model, the role, but this is my way to do it in my local computer, so I can run the same Python code. So I'm gonna do the other basic modifications. Oh, what do we have in here? It says print risk choices, charm up, canting code. Charm up can encode character maps to undefined. Hmm. Chat completion. Okay, maybe I'm gonna do this. Please check what is this error about. Maybe I'll also print the choices on and only that, because maybe I'm not getting nothing from there. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Okay, the model contains emoji. The Python stdout uses legacy. It has no representation for the emoji, so therefore it cannot print it. I need to tell Python to use UTF-8 for input and output. I have three options. Set the Python UTF environment variable once. Let's do this. So if I run this again, there, I shouldn't have an error anymore. Nope, it didn't solve it. It didn't solve it. So let's run this. Good. With this one it worked good. So basically I just like configured so Python can print characters to use UTF-8 as a way to encode. Okay. Okay, that's good. I need to remember this to copy it into every other file that we have. This is good. So we're good. So we're good here. Submit answer. Now we're good in there. I'm just submitting the answer. 1 second. just in case I think I'm gonna stream like for 30 minutes more, and then I'm gonna take a small break because I'm almost 1 hour and a half streaming. Hello, mom. That's my mom. Good. Okay, from the code I can see that in order to get the proper data we need the... Okay, so let just for the sake of practicing, we're just gonna first print just the choices so we know what we had inside, and then I can show you like... So I get a one choice, and then I need to go... I have this index log prof message. So we need to go to the message. Should be messages. And then because I don't know why it's out suggesting messages if it's inside message, but okay. And then instead of the message, you just need to go into the content. Something to check there. This auto completion is not correct. If here it's saying message, why you are recommending me to show messages? That's incorrect. But why? But if I put messages, no, it's message and content. Yeah, it was good. So what do I just put? What? That message dot content. Run code. That's good now. Okay, here just in case I'm gonna put like the name of the lesson, okay, because then then to have it all organized. Rename tree. Put new message. And this one with new message. It's the same, just change the content. Okay, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna basic modifications. New message.py. Ah, now I'm doing this. Tree this is bad, really bad naming for this. I should start with like this too in that case. 2 and 1. Nice, it worked. Now we're good. Now we can submit and go to the next one. It was good. Alright guys, we finished the first chapter. It was good. It was a good intro. I set up at least everything that I needed. And now I'm gonna take a small break. I'm gonna pay this. We're gonna go and keep going until we finish the whole associate path. And I'm gonna come back in like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna pay, take a rest, eat something. It's already almost 3:30, 4 p.m. here. And then I'm gonna see you back. So, see you there. It's time for a small break.